thinking when I walked the field and everything. To blow them all away.
Across from mainland.
Well, out here is all flat.
Yeah, across from
But
mainland.
I was here at low tide. They don't drain out these pools out here. They don't drain.
Yeah. They can stay out there.
They sit in those pools out there. They don't drain.
They should open season on.
We have a couple of cars that need to be moved.
What do you call it?
One is a green GMC, New Jersey, license plate RVG.
Hello and welcome back to Vineland football. As tonight is the Vineland High School Fighting Clan take on the Atlantic City Vikings down in Atlantic City, right off the water at the beautiful new high school on the turf field. Big change from the old days at Bader Field, but we've got a good game lined up tonight as Vineland will face its toughest challenge of the season. I'm Rich Scarpa doing your play-by-play. Along with me tonight filling in for Coach Parentazzi once again is Dennis Blau. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you, Rich. It's going to be a big test tonight for Vineland. The first big test of the season, going against Atlantic City, a team that was up against Williamstown last week. They lost 14-6 to Williamstown. They threw the ball quite a bit, so it's going to be a big test for the defense to see how they respond to actually a passing game. They spreaded the ball out to 5-6 different wide receivers, so should be interesting how Cliff Smith's defense reacts to a passing game.
Yeah, and a lot of players to really note for you from Atlantic City, and we want to set up the table for this one. But we do that because of our sponsors. We're going to step away and thank our sponsors at this time. And thanks once again to our sponsors. As we get set for this one, let's tell you a little bit of the good and the bad and the challenge mixed in together. This Atlantic City team is 3-2 coming into today, 2-1 in the conference play, and of course Vineland and Atlantic City in the same conference along with Millville and the Prep and others. They come into this one off a tough loss to Williamstown, as Dennis was mentioning. But let's talk about Vineland versus AC. In the last 12 games, Atlantic City has 10 wins and Vineland only has 2. So Atlantic City 10-2 over Vineland in the last 12 games. The average score of those games, 19-11. So fairly competitive games for the most part they've been, but Atlantic City getting on top. Now let's talk about Coach Russo and the Vineland High School Fighting Clan. Coach Russo is 1-2 against Atlantic City. The average score under Coach Russo in those 3 games has been VHS 20, AC 19. So Russo can even his record versus AC tonight. In last year's game versus AC, Vineland broke a 6-game losing streak to Atlantic City. Well, Dan, AC team plays up and they play down. We're going to get into some of their players, but they also were a playoff team in South Jersey Group 5 last year. They had the #1 seed Toms River North on the ropes and had a lead on them in the 4th quarter and just weren't able to hold on. For Atlantic City, it's Coach Tom Kelly in his 8th season. It's 42 wins, 35 losses. Atlantic City leads the way in the Old Cape with 8 passing touchdowns. So we mentioned last year it was all Vineland. Vineland up 27-0 at half and rolled from there. But it was Vineland High with 291 yards rushing. Pacheco had 123 and 2 touchdowns and also threw for another. Vineland leading the way in the Old Cape in average points per game, 2nd overall in points with 245.
Get him tonight.
So I had a chance to talk to Coach Guzman and Coach Smith before the game, and the defense is healthy and they're ready for the test. They know that Atlantic City can spread the ball around, so they're really up for this contest.
Yeah, and for Atlantic City, it's been quarterback Nazim Derry, who last week, for the season, he's 12 completions and 31 attempts. Holy Spirit transfer Mike Constant. Mike Constable. He's 16 for 40. So they're completing about 40% of their passes, but a lot of passes are swing passes to the outside. It's going to be interesting to see how Vineland's front three can defend it. Also, running the ball will be Derry. Wide receiver Flash Morgan has 27 receptions for 364 yards. He's a big target at 6'3", 190. He's number one. Number 4, Ahmad Jones, is the linebacker that they count on to make most of their plays. A little undersized at 6', 170. Wide receiver Cameron Rogers, 9 receptions, 149 yards. And up front is where I think Vineland has a big edge in this one. The offensive and defensive lines are anchored for Atlantic City by Justin McConnell and Bo Nolan, 6'1", 230, 6'2", 215. Vineland has a lot of size up front, a lot of strength up front, a lot of speed up front, and they're so far removed from lazy. When I watch the Vineland team on tape, there's hardly anybody ever taking a play off or jogging somewhere on either side of the ball. And that's a commitment that Atlantic City doesn't make on every play. A lot of times guys may feel they're out of it, and they'll kind of lollygag a little bit around the field instead of getting to the ball. And that's going to be something that they're going to need to do. For Atlantic City to come up with a win tonight would put them in the playoff picture for Group 5. Right now, they're on the cusp, just like Vineland. You know, Vineland has St. Augustine Prep in 2 weeks, Mainland next week, AC tonight. So points are there to get Vineland in if they win out. But Atlantic City's going to need to win this if they're going to get back in the playoffs again.
So for Atlantic City, it seems like the player to watch is actually Nazim Derry. Last week, he, as Rich was saying, he had 7 completions, 10 attempts for 53 yards. And then actually Derry, receiving the ball too, had 4 receptions for 33 yards. And he scored the lone touchdown for him. So seems like the player to watch for this game.
Oh, I didn't. I was watching to see, and Vineland's going to be getting the ball. And real quickly, some common opponents from this season. Vineland defeated Bridgeton 27-8 on opening day. Vineland defeated Bridgeton 27-8 on opening day. And Bridgeton and AC was AC 27-24 over Bridgeton. Both teams have played Egg Harbor Township. Vineland with a 42-6 win, AC with a 19-13 win. But don't let that fool you. AC can get out in a hurry. They have the playmakers. They have the philosophy, and Vineland's going to have to defend an awful lot of passes today, and that's something that's been increasing each week and was what knocked them out of the playoffs last year. So good to see these extra D-backs available, and they're going to get a nice test from the Atlantic City offense today.
Yeah, Atlantic City likes to throw that long ball. They like to throw it deep. And, like Rich said, they like to mix it up with the swing pass. So it's going to be interesting to see how the defensive backs react to that, the long ball, come up with the picks if they can. So it's just basically, Vineland last week against Clearview had a great disciplined game. They got up early and maintained discipline through the game. It's hard to keep the discipline going and getting sloppy when you're up so big on teams. So this week, there's pretty much no room for error. There's just got to play disciplined football and just play all 4 quarters.
And for Atlantic City, they have basically 3 formations they'll come out in. The double slot receiver, 4 wide receiver set with 2 wide receivers. That's what they're going to be in about 40% of the time. Out of that, it's a little swing pass heavy and just runs up the middle. And the middle of that line for Vineland is going to be controlled, and they have to tackle 2 gaps. Vineland's going to have 3 linemen in on the front, and they're going to need them to win that battle. It's 3 versus 5, but you like your chances if you're Vineland. And you have Elijah Jones in the middle with Sansalone and Reyes alongside, looking for big games from them. We're going to quiet down and step aside as we prepare for our national anthem. the slowest thing we hear from the Atlantic City band, who always does a great job. So as we were talking about the formations, the other formation they run is trip receivers, 3 receivers to one side with 1 running back in the back there. And what they like to do there is spread it out, either hit a quick screen or run on the inside on the A-gaps. Now, Atlantic City's offensive line is kind of doing it with smoke and mirrors. There's spots that they don't run to. They don't run off left tackle the last 2 games. They run left inside, and they run right off tackle. So they're not really trying to get to the outside on their left on running plays in 2 weeks. So apparently there's blocking advantages at right tackle for Atlantic City that they believe, and that's where I think this game defensively for Vineland is going to come down to Reyes and Sansalone being able to do that double duty, control the edge, turn the quarterback in, get their hands up on the swing passes, and also be able to tackle that C-gap run.
Coach Kelly said that they go with a zone blocking formation, so that's going to leave somebody, you know, basically open to just go ahead and roam the field. So it's either going to be Sansalone or Anderson are going to be running free tonight if it's not running towards them. So
well,
should be
Anderson's
interesting.
That extra back that comes to give you 4 on the rush. So we're really going to be neat to see if Coach Kelly's offense will change it up. Spot Anderson on one side, then decide to motion and get the setup they want away from him. And then if Coach Cliff Smith, the defensive coordinator, and Coach Russo are going to do the same thing and rotate their assignments. So Vineland set to return. It's Isaiah Pop Pacheco back deep. And it's going to be tipped from Anderson to Pacheco. Pacheco looking for somewhere to run. He gets to the outside. Does he have the speed? Cuts to the inside. Makes another move. Oh, and a nifty spin. Stays on his feet. He's over the 50 to the 40 and finishes forward, trucking over defenders. He may need to come out for this first play after about an 80 yards run on the field, but a return by Pacheco starts Vineland out in great field position at the Atlantic City 39.
What great vision, man. He just always looking down the field for the next move, setting up the next move, setting up the next move. It's unbelievable.
And not just that, the Vineland players continue to head up the field. And it's not even, you talked about zone blocking, it's not even like you need a block.
Nope.
You need to be in a space where he can use you as a pick or set his own block up. So Kent, the receiver, at the bottom of the screen. Sophomore Tyreen Powell up top, Pacheco alongside of Anderson with the hot hand in the backfield. And there's the give to Anderson through the middle. And he's hit initially, and a nice job by the AC defense as he's only going to pick up a yard.
Again, what you got to admire about Anderson, not one person brings him down. It takes a village to get him down.
Vineland quickly back up to the ball. And offsides on AC. Up front for Vineland, it's tight end Anthony Reyes, number 84. 57, Timmy Jones is at right tackle. 64, Shane Eckert at right guard. 70, Mike Bachman, the center. 77, Alot Nardahan at left guard. Noah Sansalone at left tackle. Fake to Anderson. Vineland looking to throw. He breaks away, gets to the outside, picks up the first down, and goes out of bounds at the 15.
Nice run.
So Pacheco had a look there at Kent, who was getting up the field, but good pressure by the defensive front on that one.
And the lights went down in Georgia.
So first and 10, Vineland on the move at the 26. Still Pacheco and Anderson with Garcia in the slot. Anderson in the middle. There's a crushing block on the inside as Noah Sansalone just pancakes a defender. Let his ball carrier pick up about 4, making it 2nd and 6.
Just getting behind that offensive line, and offensive line just digging in deep, working hard, working for every inch.
The defensive front for Atlantic City right now is playing with more aggression and playing harder than I've seen in 2 games I've watched. So they've come to play tonight. And it's hits like that by Sansalone. They try to slow him down. Pacheco on the keeper up the middle. He's hit and spun and wrestled down short of the first down, picks up about 3. Looks like it'll be 3rd and short, 3rd and about 3, maybe a long 2.
So Coach Russo just sticking sticking to the run, running that ball right up the gut, right up the offensive lines behind, just going right up the middle.
So Vineland with a third down. It's Powell at the bottom. Anderson alongside Pacheco in the backfield. Here's a give to Anderson, who stood up, and he's going to be short, not able to fall forward as the defense makes a stand for Atlantic City. Cousin Davis comes in to stop the forward progress. It's actually going to be a loss of a yard, so fourth down.
Vineland going for it on fourth down.
Well, too long for a field goal. Senseless to punt. Let's make Pacheco run into some space on the top of the screen. Tight end is at the bottom. Pacheco on a quarterback draw. And he's over the line to gain. He's going to have the first down.
First down.
And first down is awarded. So Vineland with a first down right around the 14 or 15 yard line.
Good job by Pacheco. Understanding where that first down marker was and getting there.
Yeah, it's a different run than normal where you're trying to pick your way on first or second down as he just lowers it and drives forward. See what that Vineland line can get a push now. Looks like Coach Russo's going to take a timeout. He didn't like what he saw. So Vineland on the move, first and 10 ball on the 15 with 8:42 to go in the first quarter.
What I like about Coach Russo, he's not afraid to take a timeout early. You know, if he sees something that he doesn't like, you know, he's not going to take any chances of, you know, of a turnover or, you know, a miscue. He just...
Yeah, and you can't always just save your timeouts because they stop the clock and give me time.
Right.
I think some of the best timeout calls that I've seen are when a team's driving on your defense. And you take that timeout to refocus them, to address what the problems are. We've seen that in the past with Coach Russo and addressing the defense that way. And I think sometimes we just think of time management instead of preventing mistakes or enabling better play.
Right. There's no award at the end of the game if you have timeouts in your pocket. None.
Doesn't even pay the toll to get home, Dennis.
No.
So same backs in. Garcia, Anderson, Pacheco. Kenton Powell at the wide receivers. There goes Garcia in motion. He gets the ball, picks up one block from Anderson, then a second block from Anderson. So Anderson makes two blocks on that one. Garcia runs it well and picks up about a handful gain of about 4 or 5.
Anderson's that good, he can make two blocks in one play.
And Garcia's smart enough to know how to set them up.
Yep.
Really smart football player. Let's see if Pacheco goes to throw this one. There's Anderson in the middle. There's some traffic. Feet in the end zone. Touchdown, a 10-yard touchdown run by Anderson.
What a workhorse. What a workhorse, man.
So Robert Aparicio coming in and noted after the game that last week Aparicio had 7 extra points, which set a school record, beating last year 2016 kicker Robert Kling's 6. The kick is up and good.
So an interesting fact about Aparicio is when he kicks the extra points and field goals, he kicks with his right foot. When he kicks off the kickoffs, he uses his left foot.
I wonder what he'd do if they had to punt.
I don't know. But no, actually, he said that he with the right foot, he actually has more control and more accuracy, and then the left foot he's got more power. So hey, whatever works, man. Whatever works.
Well, it certainly works. As Vineland's been playing football for a long, long time, and when you break a record that was just broken last year, and it was probably your 3rd extra point you've kicked all year. You know, been different people with Vineland leading the way in the old Cape with 2-point conversions. That's also part of their game I really like. And I think if you're an attacking team, extra points are awesome. But if you're an attacking team, there's nothing like scoring and going up 8-0. Yep. So now not only do they have to score, they have to score from 2.5 yards out to tie you. Otherwise, you still gain that possession. Yep. And Coach Heck from Millville back in his days was always fantastic with gadget, weird, unbalanced, plays that you didn't see them run anywhere but extra point.
Yep.
So Derry standing back deep alongside McKethan. That's a little pooch kick. It's fielded nice by Cameron Roberts, who heads right up the field, but he's tackled almost immediately. A good starting field position at the 38-yard line.
And that's something that they do differently every time after each of the way he kicks off. That was
So Cliff Smith's got his defense coming out here now.
covered under there, high in the air. Next time he might try to put it through the end zone.
Interested to see what kind of formations he's going to go with to start.
Just about anything with him on the kickoff. And I guess that's getting ready for whatever the situation
Well, we'll start
dictates from the other
up front for Vineland. Elijah Jones, the junior nose tackle at 5'9", 350. He's in the middle of that. Noah Sansalone at right tackle. And now pressure coming from the edge by Anderson. Anderson shows on the side of two receivers. As Morgan and Muhammad are down low for AC. Now Morgan sits back. There's an option to the top of the screen, and there's some room to run. Picking up more than a handful on that. Quick option for AC is successful on that. So Noah Sansalone at that right tackle, senior 6'4", 250. On the left tackle is Anthony Reyes, the junior 5'11", 230. And quickly, AC back to the ball, 2nd and 4.
Second down and 4. In the trips to the left side for Atlantic City. 2nd and 4. From the 43.
Mike Constable in at quarterback.
Constable takes the snap up the middle.
Gives a dive up the middle, and he's hit and brought down. Nice job on the inside.
Nice stuff.
That was Noah Sansalone. Sansalone and Reyes, the two tackles, come down and tackle dive. So they've answered that one. And that's pretty much what we talked about in this formation. It's dive up the middle. So Constable was at Holy Spirit, and when Zamont transferred him from the prep, he found his way to AC. And that really adds a lot to the offense, letting Nazir Derry be able to catch, throw, and run a little bit. Delay on the inside and tripping over his own lineman. Jazir Turner, the tackle, 75, got pushed back and just his leg tripped up Constable.
So what it seems like is they didn't want no likes of Anderson. Wherever he's at on the field, they're going to actually the opposite side. So they don't want anything to do with him.
Well, right now in punt formation, it is 4th and under 5. Vineland off the ball. It's a high snap, but it's caught. And it's high, but real short. Just going to cross into Vineland territory and roll, take about an 8-yard roll. So Vineland will take over on the 32 on their own.
So Atlantic City showed that they could move the ball there. But Cliff Smith's defense prevailed.
Yeah, and we already saw the chess match with Anderson showing up on the right side A or B gap and then moving to the outside and then dropping and not blitzing, and they did a tackle stunt on the outside on the other side and surprised them with the pressure. Unfortunately, that was when option was coming at you, which kind of feeds right into it. There's a give over the left side. Taji Reese with his first carry. So Reese in it, and at the running back spot, Anderson getting a break on the side. We also have Tall Kennedy in.
Yeah, Coach Russo said he was going to mix up the running game with different players, move them interchangeable.
And there's a keeper by Pacheco. Tries to get through the middle. Nice tackle on the play. Very short gain on that one.
Nice job there by Atlantic City on the line of scrimmage. Everybody stood up their block there.
So Jasir Turner makes the tackle for AC. So 3rd and 5 for the Fighting Clan. New play signaled in. The give over the middle. So 4th and a couple. And Vineland's punt team checks in.
Good defense by Atlantic City there.
Yeah, they played some inspired defense so far. And to get that 3 and out, if it does end up that way, is.
So this is something we haven't seen much of, punts.
No, and back deep is number 2, Isa Muhammad. So Isaiah Pacheco back to punt. He also handles the punting duty all season. Fair catch called for and made right at the 31.
Nice high kick. Yeah, with that nice high punt, gives your team a chance to get down there, maybe a miscue, grab the fumble.
Yeah, and it also eliminates the return. As
Yep.
having the call for the fair catch was Isaiah Muhammad. So let's see what happens this time around. Is there's a swing out. It's a double pass. Anderson with pressure on. Avoids a tackler. Boy, what a nice play
Nice
on the
coverage,
outside.
man. Nice coverage.
Great job by Nazir Broom, Vineland's leading tackler, number 34, the sophomore.
Good job deep, too, man. Good job deep.
I couldn't follow the coverage, but it was Shelton, number 10.
Yeah.
Shelton, backup quarterback Shelton, starting safety.
Yep.
Stride for stride.
Yep. He had nothing downfield.
With Nazir Muhammad and Shelton only a sophomore at 5'11", 170. And much faster than you would think. So big loss on the play. It's going to be a loss of 4. 2nd and 14. So trying to double pass, but not enough time with the pressure. There's a quick out. It's complete. And there's the flag. That was pass interference on Nazir Morgan. Flash Morgan was blocking before the ball was caught. So that's going to come back. Real nice job. Just a little off time with that completion to be able to make the block, but he was blocking way early.
Really nice pass.
Yeah, that was a hard one to miss.
So Coach Kelly's going to test the Vineland defense with some passing, and the Vineland defense is just holding true.
Yeah, Vineland with a lot of speed in his defensive backfield. Kent, Reese, Pacheco, Shelton. Yeah, they're backed up way far. The scoreboard has 2nd and 27. Ball all the way back to the 14-yard line. So the first play loses them a handful, and then the penalty pushes them back. Down at the bottom of your screen, you see Pacheco in man coverage. It looks like a screen in the middle. It's tipped and falling down after a gain of about 5. Ball was complete to Zaquay McKetchin.
Pacheco shook off the block to get to him, too. So if he would have stood and kept his feet, I think Pacheco may have just leveled him anyway.
Yeah, he was going to pick up a few more, but not much more than that. And I think that's one thing that we've seen Atlantic City do, get it to the outside with their screens and then their bubble screens and just get people in space. But Vineland can match them athletically, and a lot of teams can't match Atlantic City athletically. That doesn't mean Vineland will handle them, but it means it's going to be a much tougher challenge to break that one tackle. Constable going to throw again. Pressure coming.
Oh,
and
what
Morgan,
a sack.
Anderson has him inside the 10, back at the 7. Talk about a loss of yards on that drive. It's a loss of 23 yards on that drive at least.
Anderson hit that gap like a shot, and the quarterback had no time to respond.
And you know what's neat? It's like, oh, he got him and he swung him down. But there's a lot of grip involved in that tight shirt uniforms. I can remember holding a guy's jersey and trying to wing him down and my hand hurting. Bite my fingernails too low.
Fingernails off.
Yeah. So back to punt, and it's going to be out of the end zone. Vineland set to receive it as it's almost blocked. It's high, decent, but short. It's going to be down right at the 34-yard line of Atlantic City. So about a 27-yard punt. No roll for them.
So I'm interested to see if Coach Volpe, the offensive coordinator, is going to stick with the run, maybe spread it out a little bit here. Got a minute and 47 left in the first quarter.
Vineland looking to get that second score. Vineland not a real strong starter this season. Vineland only averaging 7 points in the first quarter, while Atlantic City's averaging 4.7. Pacheco puts his head down and pushes that whole pile forward about 6 or 7 yards. This was a nice time where the line was just shoulder to shoulder, getting a nice drive up the field. This is a big stop for Atlantic City. They've played with Vineland. They were able to hold Vineland to a 3-and-out on their second drive. And breaking free goes Anderson again. 10-5, touchdown Fighting Clan.
What a run. Right up the gut.
29-yard run.
It worked for about 7 yards that time, and now we're seeing what we've seen in the last few weeks.
So this is the start that Vineland needed.
Once he breaks that line of
Yeah, and Atlantic City's doing a great job getting up to that line of scrimmage, and they've been able to make stops, but it's taken the line and the linebackers, and that just leaves a D-back in a lot of space. So you don't want to overcommit to getting up there, but if you don't, you know, those little dives for 2 get broken for big yards with the speed of Anderson and the power.
Nice.
And Baricio hits another one. So he's on a little bit of a roll.
You give that Anderson a little daylight and get him some motivation. There's not many people, not many one-on-one tacklers are going to stop him.
No, and we talked a lot about Anderson, one of the captains on the team, as a senior commit to Maryland. That's where his plans are. But the senior is 6'2", 225, fast, strong. So they used to have a player last year that coaches used to nickname LT. And the body type and the size are just matching that of collegiate or pro players. And that's just not a genetic freak. And we've watched these guys as freshmen, and with the new weight room and the way they work in that weight room, the growth of all the guys and their strength. And they don't just lift weights. There's also agility days. Their coordination, agility, speed, fast twitch, everything just improves on every player. There's a nice pooch kick. Going to bounce a couple times. Be picked up at the 19. Breaking out of one tackle before DeAndre Tall Kennedy brings him down. So AC looks like they're going to start on their own 25.
Getting back to Vineland's offense, what you're also seeing is discipline by the front line. No holding penalties. You know, they're just making the holes, doing the blocks, just complete discipline. And as Coach Russo, you got to love seeing that.
Vineland's had good field position today, starting at AC's 39 and their 34. So AC heading back out, down 14-0 with just under a minute at 59 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
You've got to know that that's coming, all right?
Yeah, I imagine Atlantic City's going to start taking some deep pops here.
But can they generate the protection? Constable to throw. Oh, what an outstanding play by Ryan Shelton. The safety comes up and gets a hand in there and knocks it down. You know, we have a few seniors that are going to be leaving us this year. A lot of the offensive linemen, quarterback, running back, some D-back. But what you have back there is a sophomore that can lead this team defensively from the safety position, and also who appears to be the future quarterback getting the start in the Cumberland game. So 2nd and 10, ball loose on the ground, big pressure. So that time the pressure provided by Nazir Broom on the stunt. So Vineland mixing it up, having Anderson stay in a little bit and play, and trying to surprise them with stunts by the other two inside backers. Inside backer Philip Blackwell is back, to junior at 5'11", 190, and Nazir Broom, the sophomore at 5'11", 195. So youth on the field for Vineland, with Jones, the nose tackle, as a junior. Constable to throw. He's got protection. Finally breaks down. Anderson, and he just drops to the ground. Doesn't want to take that hit from Anderson.
No parts
as
of that.
Constable wisely goes down. He wasn't going to break the tackle, but he just put the brakes on.
He was like, I don't want none of that hitting me.
And that was a smart play, too, right? You're not going to try to run through him or over him. It's not going to happen, and you could hurt yourself.
And he's strong enough that he might just take the ball right out of your hand.
And Atlantic City, if they're going to try to get in the end zone and get in this, they certainly need him to be in there to add some diversity to the offense. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. 14-0 Vineland. Vineland set to get the ball back. They should have good field position. When they do, it'll be punting from their own 18-yard line with Atlantic City.
So Atlantic City's first drive, they moved the ball, pretty well, then never made it past half the field. So,
well, it kind of was the one option play looked nice, but not able to convert a first down yet, though. But they did move it and get a little momentum going. Had a 3rd and short that they were tackled for a loss, and then punted on a 4th and 4. Well, the ground that Vineland covers defensively is just incredible. Anderson started on the top of the screen and got right back over there. There's just too much pressure on Constable that when he does have time to throw, as you mentioned, there's some blanket coverage down there, but when it breaks down, it's like somebody throwing darts at you.
Yep.
There's a missile coming here. That one misses. Then there's another one whizzing by your head.
Just so many people you can keep accounted for on that field.
Nazir Morgan back to punt it. It was a high snap the first time. Vineland's been getting a little bit of pressure. Hopefully they don't run into this kicker. And it kicks away, and that's a nice kick. Back to the 47-yard line. Making a couple stutter steps and a nifty move to straight arm. Will get him the edge. Nope, but turning back inside. Nice return down to the 37-yard line by DeAndre Tall Kennedy.
Tell you what, man, he was stopping, juking. Then he hit the outside.
Well, and you know what? It's like I ran into somebody and goes, oh, well, Vineland's doing good, but their transfers are doing good for him, too. Like, yes, there are transfers in there, but there are people that played in Vineland, live in Vineland, that decide to come back home to join us for this season.
And that's all on Coach Russo.
Hopefully we'll get some other guys want to play here, too, if we need them.
Yep. That's all on Coach Russo.
There's some speed there. Does he have enough to pull through? Pacheco, get on your giddy up, getting in. Touchdown, Pacheco.
Man,
no flags on the field.
Wow. Did he put the burners on?
It was like a horse galloping. The acceleration and the drive off his feet.
Such a good story, man. What a great kid. Great story.
Yeah, I know they time people in a 40 and all that kind of stuff, but being around football for the better part of 30 years, I've not seen the drive. Oh, Aparicio's streak is over. A little bit of a low snap. Got held down a little bit late in the timing off on that one, so his consecutive streak is ended. But through no fault of his own, just a breakdown, and that's one of the tougher things, as you mentioned last game, between the snap, the hold, the kick, the blocking, a lot of things to do when that one goes.
Everything has
no
to go
good.
right.
Been checking out the unofficial history of Vineland football that's on Facebook and Twitter, and they come up with a lot of stats. Real interesting site if you're a Vineland fan to check out, but I think we may be seeing consecutive extra points made, maybe close in there. So Vineland up 20-0, just 27 seconds into the second quarter. As always, just an outstanding job done by our crew tonight. Tonight's crew: Mark McGill, Andrew Ellis, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbraun, and executive producer of VPS TV is Jim Masori, the school district's public information officer. So Aparicio set to kick. And I expect just a little pooch, and there it is. It's going to be fielded at the 25. And staying in bounds, did that ball get wrestled from him almost? Real nice return by Atlantic City's Ahmad Jones. So Ahmad Jones gets it to the 43-yard line.
So if you're Atlantic City, Coach Kelly, you just want to see some kind of improvement. Want to see some kind of push up front. Because it's obvious that Vineland is ready for the passing game. The defensive line getting great pressure on Constable.
Jamal Brooks now at the bottom of your screen. He has interceptions in the last 3 games. Nazir Derry in at quarterback now. Derry's going to give up the middle, but running into his offensive lineman and getting knocked down is Zaquay McKetson. I think a little, if he had his head up a little bit more, there was a little more room to the outside. But a nice job by Reyes, who basically makes the tackle by pushing Jazir Turner into the ball carrier and holding his ground on that edge. Now a little weird with the 2 receivers and the slot to the bottom on the short side of the field. Dare to throw. There's no pressure. He floats it, and it's overthrown and incomplete. Brooks on coverage underneath, and Kent covering up the top of that pattern.
Good coverage on that. And Derry has a nice gun there. Yeah, he's got a nice arm. It's just overshot him.
You know, when Coach and I are doing the games, we talked about Bridgeton a couple years ago, and it was that Marquise Bell. That 2 years before they were a playoff team and really good. The next year they had to put him at quarterback. Then they put him at wide out. Then they put him at running back. They needed that one more guy. Well, AC has that guy in Constable, but it's just a matter of figuring out how to get everybody involved. Pressure. Breaking free. Spinning. And it's floated out incomplete. Little lackadaisical on the wing down there. We've got to be able to finish that. He may have been past the line when he threw it. I'm not sure. But 4th down either way, so 4th and punt time for AC. It's the time if you're Vineland, maybe time to watch a fake.
Yep.
You're down 20. It's 4th and 9. You don't know how much closer you will be.
You got to commend the defense on that set of downs too, because you got a different quarterback out there, so he can do many different things. He can run the ball. He definitely can throw the ball deep. So great play. You know, great plays by defense there. So to make sure they keep Derry under wraps.
Oh, the kicks are just getting better and better. It's a beautiful kick. And hit immediately as he catches it.
Way to hold on to the ball, though,
Tall
man.
Kennedy.
What concentration to hold on to that ball and know you're going to get nailed.
Well, perfect timing by the Atlantic City player who got there right as the ball hit his hands. Almost had him cough it up. But Tall Kennedy does a good job coming down with that. But great coverage on the beautiful punt by Flash Morgan. So the worst field position for Vineland today is for the first time they're going to start on their own side of the field at their own 25. Previously, Vineland started on AC's 39, AC's 34, AC's 38, and only one other time in their side at the Vineland 32. So trip receivers down for Vineland. They spread them out and give it to Anderson in the middle. And a nice tackle on the play by Ahmad Jones.
So in spots, Atlantic City's front defensive line is stopping Anderson here and there if they can get to him before he gets that head of steam. But once he gets that head of steam, forget it.
And then we had talked a little before about how Atlantic City would handle Pacheco. We thought maybe Ahmad Jones would mirror him. Pacheco picking his way through the middle, breaking a few tackles and spinning down after a gain of about 20. Pacheco almost to AC's side. He's at the 45-yard line of Vineland. The vision and the jump cuts
Man,
and
he
spins.
can find holes and seams. It's
a
just
run like,
unbelievable.
A run like that, and you're almost disappointed that he didn't break it.
Yeah,
You know, it's
almost, man, almost.
certainly been a fun ride, and the guys in control of that ride is that offensive line that just continues.
Yep.
You know, 3 years ago they struggled a little bit. Last year they were good. This year they're looking really good. Sanzalone clears it out again. Anderson takes a couple hits and is dropped after a gain of 3.
I think Atlantic City's defensive coordinator's got to have his, pretty much has his hands full because he doesn't know which way it's coming from. Is it going to be Pacheco? Is it going to be Anderson? Is it going to be Kennedy? Is it going to be Reyes? I mean, this team has so many weapons. It's a defensive coordinator's nightmare right now.
Now watch now. If they decide to try to commit to stopping this run, then we'll get to see the passing game get underway. But until they change it, it's a gift to Garcia. He's hit and dropped. Another nice open field tackle by Connor Colomb.
Like I said, in spurts, Atlantic City's defense, is coming up with some decent stops, but it's that big play they just keep giving up.
I've said it before today. I'll say it again. They're playing with a lot more energy, a lot more speed than I've seen them play with. So they've come to play today. They know playoff lives are at stake, and there's a false start by Kent on the outside.
Some confusion with Kent, what to do on that play.
So it'll make it 3rd and a long 10. Ball going back to the Vineland 44-yard line. Javier Santana checks in.
Honestly, I think that's the first penalty I've seen in a long time on Vineland.
Powell at the bottom of the screen. He's matched up with Isa Muhammad. Pacheco to throw. Spins. Can he get free? No. As he's brought down, and Vineland will have to punt. He tried to do it off the high snap, but not able to, as Vineland will go 3 and out.
Atlantic City was not confused about that.
62. Nice tackle there. He wrapped him, which is, we've seen it is not very often that Pacheco is going to
So Vineland's going 3 and out twice today.
He did what he had to do, and he wrapped real well, and he didn't let him go. Didn't let him
That's
go.
Pacheco's second punt. His first punt was a high boomer. Let's see if he can repeat it.
So Isa Muhammad back. Low snap. Pacheco has it. No pressure. It's a nice high
Man, he just
kick.
puts it
Fair
up
catch
there.
called for and made at the 25. Isa Muhammad listed at 6 foot tall, and when he just stood next to Anderson, Anderson listed at 6'2". It looked like about 7 inches difference there. So maybe a little height and weight padding going on. Looked like a big brother talking to his little brother.
Tell you what, man, I got to give it to Muhammad. He's fielding them clean.
Yeah, and with Anderson twice,
With some big boys coming down that
you
field.
can hear him breathing. He's
Yep.
that close. So AC looking for their first down. They're at their own 25. So AC's going to try to bust one in the air, you got to feel here. As Constable's back in, he's more of the thrower. It's a quick out and hit and dropped. Pickup of about 5 on the play as Marcus Plummer gets that one.
Tell you what, Constable throws a nice out pattern, man. Nice tight spiral.
And of course, as you know, they're the toughest ones to throw. I
Yep.
mean, from the middle of the field, you got 25 yards to get to the side, another 10 up the field, and your 5-yard drop. You know, you got to have a lot of arm strength for those. AC tries to draw Vineland off.
See that
Reyes
defensive
and
line
Brooks
get in there
flinch,
to
but
the-
don't move. Option. Oh, hit and drop. That it looks like Anderson again.
He's like a cat out there, man. He's just coming across that field, making that open field tackle.
Yeah, he reads the play. Not only is he strong,
A lot in Ardahan in at nose tackle on that play.
he's also intelligent.
Excuse me, in that nose tackle or tackle. I couldn't tell where he started. But he got the first initial pressure
Yep.
in there.
Those guards and read the,
He cut that angle off and just gave Anderson just a couple more seconds to get over there.
Constable has a man, hits him on his fingertips. It's Nazir Morgan, and Flash is pulling away from the herd. Flash Morgan in the end zone for AC. A 65-yard.
Nice play. Right in the soft part of the field.
And hit him in stride.
Yep, that was a nice pass too.
Nazir Morgan, who they call Flash here, and half the programs have him as Flash. You can see why. That was some speed there.
Oh yeah. It looked like for a couple seconds there they had a shot of grabbing him, but then man, he put them afterburners on. That was it.
So Constable has a team ready to go for 2, and that's blown dead.
you know, and the good thing about that pass, Tony, from Constable was he hit him right in his stride. All right, he didn't have to stop and catch the ball, so he was already up to, you know, his max speed there. He just outran the defensive back for Vineland.
So will AC change and try to run here? Will they stick with their play as the offside
So give Constable credit
from the
on that.
2.5 will go to the 1 1/4? So just 4 feet away from the 2-point conversion. It's a high floating. Yeah, and Vineland tries to knock it down, but coming down with the conversion is Nazir Derry. So AC right back in it at 20-8 with 5:12 to go.
Lion Kent on that. He had great position on that.
Yeah, that was kind of like the touchdown last week where everybody goes up. And sometimes knocking it away is all right. But
Right.
it's got to get down. Other times, if your hands are on it, you've got to really fight and wrestle
Yep.
like you're pulling down a rebound. And that time,
Well, Derry got up there, man. He took the ball. He wanted it more. That's all it came down to.
so Derry gets it. It's through the air. AC scores 8 points. It's a Vineland offense so far today. Got the ball scored. Got the ball 3 and out. Got the ball scored. Got the ball scored. Got the ball 3 and out. They set this up with a score here. They get control back. AC will be getting the ball to start the second half, but we have 5:12 to go here.
So I imagine Coach Smith is going to be making some adjustments there. Being Atlantic City is now going to flaunt this pass game that they have.
I think Vineland's defense can also bring a little more aggression
Yes.
than they are.
Yep.
We're swinging people down. We're knocking people over by pushing them instead of delivering the blows that you should.
Yep.
They kind of encourage people not to be so interested in receiving it. It's bobbled, but picked back up. Tall Kennedy goes to the top of the screen. Gets a block from Pacheco and moves the herd up to the 41-yard line where Vineland will take over at their own 41.
So with 5 minutes left in the half, I think you're going to see a healthy dose of Anderson, Pacheco. Try a nice little drive here to end the half.
Well, one advantage for Vineland as this game progresses is there's a big size difference. And, you start to wear on people.
Yep.
Yeah, and the longer that goes, the harder it is to respond to. Halftime will give them a boost. When we hit this fourth quarter, physically the mismatch in size up front should become more evident. Busting up the middle for a gain of 8 is Pacheco.
Most important thing on this drive is just to keep the ball. Let's not give the ball to Atlantic City and let them breathe any more life that they have.
The second quarter is Vineland's big quarter for points, averaging 21.5 in this quarter, while AC's averaging 4. Overall, Vineland averaging 49 points a game, Atlantic City averaging just under 17. So 2nd and 2. I don't know if he's up on the line enough. Met at the line of scrimmage. Maybe back to it in an inch or two more. That's about it. So 3rd down. A big play here for that AC defense. They may be able to get the ball back for that offense. Pacheco up to the top. He's hit right at the marker.
Going to be close.
That's going to be really close. I think it may be just a little short.
I think he probably got enough, but maybe not.
So 4th and probably about 6 inches. This is one thing that with a quarterback who's never under center,
Yep.
you can't just go under there and tap them and go.
Right.
So big play. AC's defense does it, holds Vineland to 4th down, but it's 4th and inches, and Vineland's going to go for it here. Pacheco picks his way through. He's got the first
Nice.
down and about 6 more. And that's a backbreaker.
That's all offensive line right there, man. All offensive line.
If you're Atlantic City, you held Vineland for the first 3. It's 4th down. Because of the kick return, the field position lets Coach Russo go for it. And when AC should be getting off the field, the 4th down conversion keeps Vineland moving. Yep. And they've played good defense. Looks like Pacheco's ear pad may have fell out. Looks like an equipment timeout. Now they're saying it is an injured player, so Pacheco on a knee. Shelton ready to run in and finish off this drive if that's the case. So a look around. Action tonight in the rest of the old Cape Atlantic League. Too many papers and not enough room, Dan. So we look just for more runs here. I think Shelton rolls out and throws it myself.
So with some of the scoring leaders in the Cal right now, we have
They're the old ones. That's why I didn't get them this week. They didn't update them. That's my go-to site too.
Oh my
but no, that's why I stopped when I said the schedule. I'm like, oh, that's not updated.
They're slacking.
Well, it's already October 20th, and that means Bridgeton is at Millville, Egg Harbor Township at St. Augustine Prep, Holy Spirit at Buna, Lower Cape May at Pleasantville, Mainland at Ocean City, and of course we're here, Vineland at AC, and tomorrow's game is St. Joe's and Cedar Creek. I'd like to give you, but we use one site for our stats, and they didn't update. I hate to jump to another with different rankings.
Right.
West Jersey Football League is Vineland as the number 3 team. Vineland number 7 in South Jersey online. NJ.com, Vineland, I believe, was number 14 in the state.
It's all over the place.
So it's all different, but this is what people want to see. you know, Vineland's toughest test, and right now, Vineland on the move looking to add to this lead, but
So you got Shelton at quarterback.
Shelton good in space, good moving his feet. There's the sweep. Kick out block in front. Ball is loose, and it's still loose. And AC has it. Nice strip on the job as they pull it from Tall Kennedy. So AC gives up the first down, but then gets the ball back.
So Atlantic City's got the momentum right now. So let's see what Cliff Smith's defense comes out and what they bring to the table on this set of downs.
So AC is going to start at their own 25. So if you're Coach Cliff Smith, a defensive coordinator, do you try to get some pressure on Constable?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you got to get in his face. Bring Anderson right at him.
Then again, that would be just sending 4 against 5 and an up back.
Just missed him.
Well, nice pass, just overthrew Morgan. See, I think instead of hitting the edges that time, it was Nazir Broom stunting off the outside on the short side. You don't really got to worry about the roll that way, but I think you loop that backer on the inside, more of a delayed blitz, because the edges, your tackles are containing them in the pocket, and Constable really doesn't want to be running around with the football. He wants to sit in the pocket, so once you do that, the delay on the inside, a lot of times will get you an unblocked guy through there. It looks like Vineland may have jumped off sides. So 2:29 to go here in the first half. Yeah, possibly your hands coming up.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see a body go over, but your arms do go past the line, and that is a penalty. So AC still on this bottom hash mark. Reyes going upright, trying to get some pressure from the bottom. Quick throw, screen set in place, making a couple people miss and picking up a first down and then some more. That was one of the few times I've seen that Vineland defense not make a tackle and try to strip a football, and then let Derry pick up about another 10, but there is a penalty on the play against Atlantic City.
So Atlantic City now basically leaning on the passing game. You got to think that sooner or later they're going to mix it up with a draw up the middle or something, or a quick hit in the middle.
With 2:19 to go, it's a pretty wise move to keep the clock moving also, so you don't give Vineland another possession. Vineland has 2 timeouts left, 2:19 on the clock. It's going to be second down and about 12. So see if Vineland uses a timeout. If they were to stop the player inbounds here short of the first down, you'd want to have it be a 3rd and about 6 if you're going to call the timeout. Anything closer, you wouldn't. Shelton now presses up. And sure enough, then there's the run in the middle.
Yep. And Vineland was not fooled.
It's going to be happy letting the clock run, or if they're going to take their timeout. 1:50 on the clock.
I don't know if Pacheco's back on the field yet or not.
And Vineland takes the timeout as they're going to want another shot with the ball, but to do that, they've got to stop this 3rd down play by Atlantic City.
So if you're Atlantic City's head coach, you just got to be happy with the motivation swing is now with the Atlantic City team. So, I mean, you just got to keep building on it if you're Coach Kelly.
If I'm Coach Kelly, I'm running the same play and the ball there again, making Vineland use their other timeout. And punting's been outstanding. After the first couple, they've been some really booming punts. And I don't know if you want Vineland If you throw it and don't get it, Vineland
Right.
won't have to use the timeout. There'll be about 1:40 when you punt.
Yep.
Vineland will get the ball back with 1.5 to go. If you do run the ball, you make Vineland use the timeout, or if they don't, then it's going to be down to about a minute when they get there. So you can almost take 40% of the time off the clock by running it here instead of trying to get the first down. And I think Vineland would happily tackle and get the ball back because momentum has started to turn for AC, and you don't want it to continue.
Right.
AC will be getting the ball to start the second half. So Vineland players on the field ready to go. The officials are encouraging Coach Kelly to get everybody out there. This is a big play for them. He wants to make sure he has everything right how he needs it.
I mean, I know the score is 20-8, and you're up by 12 points, but this is actually a big set of downs for Cliff Smith's defense.
So 3rd and short. Anderson on the blitz. It's floated, and it's dropped.
Wow.
Right. Derry has it, hit his hands and fall incomplete. 1:41 to go. Vineland will be getting the ball back.
He catches that ball. He's still running, man. Whoa. What a
Could have
lucky
been a
break.
4 or 5 point game there if Derry able to hold on.
Wow. Vineland dodged a bullet there, man.
So it's time to punt. It's going to be short. And it takes a Vineland hop rolling back up to the Vineland 49.
I'm going to predict that Vineland's going to block a punt this game. Every time.
I get nervous. I was always a big sissy when I coached.
He didn't want
If
to hit the
somebody
kicker.
was willing to punt me the ball and give my offense the ball, don't get near him. Don't touch him. Don't block it. I want my offensive players with the ball on offense.
Which confuses me because you are probably one of the most aggressive people I've ever met.
Well, I used to be. I'm totally type B now. It's like a whole different. Some people don't even
Kids,
know that me.
Kids, marriages, calm you down, man.
No, but I mean, it's important that the offense gets the ball, and it's
definitely.
sometimes not worth the risk, especially if you're controlling things. So Isaiah Pacheco back in for Vineland, and he takes it himself. He's got nowhere to go. He turns upfield, and a flag hits the field. Looks like it's in the spot where they usually call a holding. So it's going to be a holding on Vineland, making it 1st and 20, bringing it back to their 39-yard line.
So we're seeing actually a side of Vineland right now getting a little sloppy, with the fumbles and the penalties. So I'm sure that Coach Russo will definitely address that at halftime.
In a player like Tall Kennedy that just was eligible last week, he got a few touches, did a lot of great things, but it's like a preseason game still.
Yep.
And sometimes it's okay if those things happen and you overcome them because you learn. Like last week, the 2 or 3 late touchdowns by Clearview, let you know what you have to adjust, where the communication is wrong. So Pacheco back to throw. Now it's quarterback draw. Makes a move through the middle, and he's wrestled down by Ahmad Jones, sitting there spying him. As Pacheco hops up, we're down to a minute and running. And now AC is going to take a timeout. I don't know if Coach Kelly understood what down it was there because it's only 2nd down.
Yeah. Maybe he thought Vineland was just going to run the clock out themselves.
I don't know if I'd call it if it was 3rd down, but if I wasn't getting the ball back to start the second half, I'd have called timeout.
Right.
If I'm getting the ball back, coming into this season, all the South Jersey teams are all in that West Jersey league. And they came up with all the teams, 80-some, however many it is.
Right.
And they came up with their whole league, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd team, their all-stars. And on here, 3 players in tonight's game are in there. Third-team offense, Nazir Derry, listed at 6'3", 190. AC's quarterback wide receiver just made that tackle. Pacheco's second-team quarterback, and Naheem Anderson, first-team tight end. So second and long for the Fighting Clan. Anderson going out for a pass, and it's overthrown.
Nearly
And
picked.
falls incomplete with 50 seconds left. And that guy on the down marker needs to not turn it so close. Like he turned it, and I look up, and he's already on 3. But it is third down now with 50 seconds to go.
Right, yeah. I mean, he was in a good spot. The thing is, you don't let Anderson get behind it.
Yeah, that one just a little overthrown on Anderson as he was not able to get his route underway as there's a mess of people to run through to sneak out of the backfield.
Well, I like Pacheco throwing the ball there, actually, because he had plenty of room to run it. He just wants to get this passing game working.
And he gets to the outside, stays on his feet. He's going to be knocked out with 40 seconds to go. And the clock is running, so he was still inbounds. AC will take a timeout with 37 seconds to go. So another timeout. So AC wants to get it back and try to throw it down the field a couple times.
So what are you doing here if you're buying offense, Rich?
On fourth down, on their side of the field, I feel like they're not driving the ball to score. It's big plays. So whether I give up a 60 or 70-yard touchdown pass, which is the way they're going to get in the end zone,
Right.
or a 40-yard touchdown pass, it's going to be the same pattern, the same play.
Right.
So risk versus reward. I know Coach doesn't agree with me, but I'd go for it here.
Yeah.
It's not like they have time to grind the ball or they are grinding the ball. It's big play. So you're going to have to defend the big play.
Right. But then you have Pacheco, who can kick the ball very high and maybe get a miscue and maybe get the ball somewhere deep on the 10 and 20.
Yeah, but even putting them deep, it's going to be the same play you're defending, and it's a matter of. And that's going to hit it to 10, take a high hop, and roll in the end zone. So 29 seconds. Coach Kelly's timeouts work as he's going to get the ball with a couple shots here. Officially 28 seconds to go. You know, in the previous games, third, second, fourth, whatever, and long, Vineland's D-backs all just line up at the markers.
Right.
And they keep in front and tackle. I don't know that that works with Atlantic City with their speed and agility, that you could have a missed tackle. There's much more of an opportunity as there are playmakers all over the field for AC.
I think for the defense right now, they got to get to Constable. They got to get to him. Don't let him sit back there and just launch it. Get some pressure on him.
Ryan Williams in for Vineland at that left tackle spot. So back to throw is Constable. Throws over the middle, incomplete.
That may be his worst pass he's thrown all game.
Ryan Williams, that I mentioned in at defensive tackle or defensive end, is a freshman, 5'11", 235. Talk about getting some people in the game in key spots. This is probably one of the more key moments you've had in the season. And there's the freshman in there on the line trying to get a rush for Vineland. That falls incomplete.
Constable seems a little bit off his rhythm. Yeah, he was hitting those outs really well, the slants really well. Now, a missed pass by Derry. Couldn't throw it any better than that.
Well, the last time AC had the ball, we said, we just run up the middle here, make Vineland use their timeout. They're almost in that position now with 19 seconds to go. Another incompletion and set up 4th and 10.
Still got to be worried about that home run.
Constable back. He steps up, cuts to the inside.
Nothing.
And dropped. So a gain of about 5, or maybe 4. The hold.
It was nice the last game we had the.
So Vineland will be declining the penalty. Coach Russo lets them know, and they're going to take their timeout.
Now, what's it, 3rd down or 4th?
4th down.
Now,
If we decline the penalty, it'll be 4th.
you block the punt now. Go for it.
And you know that they're going to be barreling down.
So let's see what Vineland decides to do. You were talking about a block earlier, and I tell you how
They've
I
been
want my
close.
offense to have it, but my offense to have it with 5 seconds left isn't that great. So
Right.
this may be a time where if you do hit the kicker and rough the kicker,
Bring
it's,
the house.
it's okay.
Yep. Bring the kitchen sink on this one.
Well, I'm going to keep a couple people guarding the receivers still.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
because if I'm AC, I may do a little trickery there, too.
Definitely the environment's favor here. Like I said, we still got one timeout.
So these possessions were fast and furious at the end of that half. After the 65-yard reception and the Derry 2-point conversion. Vineland with the football fumble, 3 and out for AC. Vineland with the football punt, 3 and out for AC. And Vineland set to get it back as it's 4th and 8.
Or they're just going to let it go, one or the other. Right.
So Vineland playing fake here as nobody's back deep. Oh, get that ball. Get that ball. Some confusion if that hit the Vineland player. And time is off the clock. The player jumped out of the way and put his arms up, and of course that makes you think maybe it could have hit him. The officials say it didn't hit him. So Vineland would have had the ball at the 35, but that's going to do it for the first half. Well done, an interesting first half. Talk about possessions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 14 possessions in that first half. And that's going to do it for the half with Vineland up 20-8. And before we step away, what you think of that first half, Dan?
Well, I thought it was, Vineland started off hot, which is we've said time and time again, they need to start great starts and to really get the upper hand on teams. To end the half, it seemed like Atlantic City was lingering around, and Vineland got a little sloppy with their play, with the fumble, like you said, Kennedy with the fumble, still like a preseason game for him, but, some of the penalties on certain plays, but you had a sense like Atlantic creeped in this game, at any time, but, the defense held, and I think the on team come out. I really do.
Well, the defense has totally taken the run off the table. Right. AC's not going to run the ball. They're going to have to come out with this ball in the second half and start right away throwing. And it should be a good second half with Vineland up 20-8. We're going to step away for halftime while we thank our sponsors, and we'll see you for the second half of Vineland Fighting Clan football.
Go away and play football, and it ain't what it is here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's good coaches. There ain't no way.
Cervantes and Canal, who's bad. Jadisha, Canal, who's bad. Jadisha, keep your hands moving in time, where solo is Jordan, the purveyor of dank mems, Mezel J, the Jordan Man, Kapasia Walla, Austin, placeholder name here, Sibley Analia, Ice Cold Toronas, and Nestor, It's Not My Fault Chaparro, wind up the action. The band is under the direction of clockmaster Stephen Spurlock and his associate Christopher Lord. So sit back and listen to the ACHS time machine. Tick-tock, they're rockin' clocks.
So what are you looking at? Is your broadcasting too, or media type stuff? Let me tell you something. I think I got a little something left in me. Listen to me, man. Listen to me. I will work for free. That's right.
I'm ready when you are. Back for second half action. The game tightened up a lot late in that second quarter as with the 20-8 lead. We were talking during the half, it was a completion away from being a 4 or 3 point lead for Vineland. Atlantic City will be getting the ball first. And during halftime, it's, oh, geez, they almost did this, and they almost made it, 20-16. But then I'm looking through here, not at stats, just some drive summary. Atlantic City had the ball 7 times, went 3 and out 6 times. But Atlantic City has the ability for big plays. Like Vineland gets a lot of big plays, breaking tackles and running with that nice push from the line. Passing, Vineland hasn't had to lean on it. With that offensive line, they're much more of a running team. And Vineland, of course, moved the ball and scored and got first downs a lot. The offense seems to be able to move the ball and should be able to put some more points up. But just that one break in that touchdown makes it 20-8 with AC with the ball. So it's an important defense here.
Yeah, Constable Derry in, and Derry just dropped the ball. I mean, if he catches that ball, he's probably still running. And, you're looking at a 20-16 game. Atlantic City getting the ball back, in the second half and maybe driving the ball down and going ahead in Vineland. But, Vineland's defense picked it up. They stopped the run. They were pass, and Atlantic City said, well, let me sprinkle a little bit of run in there, and Vineland was wise to it because they knew, okay, Atlantic City's going to keep trying this home run ball, going to keep trying. Maybe they're going to try to catch us off guard with a little draw for a big run play up the middle, but Vineland wasn't having it. And I got to give Cliff Smith, kudos on that because the defense, you see one quarterback, and then you see another quarterback, and then you see another formation. So, defense has been on its toes. Offensively, you see Vineland running the ball, and then at the end, you see Isaiah Pacheco trying to set up, some passing and trying to get the passing game involved so he can catch their defense sleeping. So,
and the more Atlantic City commits to stopping the run, that'll open up the passing game. And it was just a forced passing series there when you're trying to score late. But if Atlantic City's the unsuccessful runs for Vineland are getting 3 to 5 yards.
Right.
So they could just play big boy football and just pound the ball down the middle, and they should be able to score 3 out of 4 times.
Right.
Now, Atlantic City has showed that they could score 4 out of 4,
right.
If they make these connections on there. Yep. So not slighting them, but I think the bigger task is going to be for Atlantic City's defense to stop the Vineland offense, regardless of the score here. Because if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm Coach Volpe and Coach Russo, I'm thinking we're doing all right. We can move the football. We had a costly turnover deep in at the 25-yard line, almost in the red zone. That by a great play by a defender.
Yep.
They ripped the ball out, tackled the ball. So Atlantic City had chances and had some shots. They come into this half still down 12.
So it goes also back to what we talked about in the beginning about having a good start. In the first quarter, Vineland High came out and scored 14 points. And how important it was to come out strong because you're going to have lulls in a game where everything's not going to go your way. There's going to be fumbles. There's going to be penalties. So that start in the beginning was crucial for Vineland, actually, because if they didn't have that good start in the first quarter, you're looking at a different game here, a completely different game.
As we mentioned, Atlantic City will be getting the ball with Derry and Ahmad Jones back. Ahmad Jones had a really good first half on defense. He was kind of spying that quarterback or that inside give the whole first half and did a pretty good job. I mean, Vineland getting 5 a pop, but not the big ones they wanted.
Yeah, at the end of the second half, Atlantic City's defense was shutting down the middle of Vineland. So it's going to be interesting to see where Coach Volpe takes this offense in the next half.
Well, for Vineland, it was an Anderson 10-yard run to get it started, then an Anderson 29-yard run, and then a Pacheco 37, and a 65-yard touchdown pass for AC got them on the board. This one's going to hop around, be picked up at the 20. There's a little bit of a seam, trying to break through, almost loses the ball, but real nice return, brings it out to the 47-yard line. Nice job by Ahmad Jones.
So Cliff Smith's defense is coming out here, so they got to worry about the pass, got to worry about the run, got to worry about Derry. Atlantic City has their players too that you just can't sleep on.
So Vineland starting unit back in there. Broom and Blackwell in the middle. So here we go, 1st and 10 for AC. Constable at quarterback. Swings it out quick and dropped. Flash Morgan not able to come up with that.
I think Flash was getting ready to be a bolt of Flash before he caught the ball on that one.
He just was looking to go before he caught the ball.
So I'd be surprised if we make it through this game without a tipped interception by Anderson or Reyes. Whichever. I mean, they get their hands up, they can knock this down. Constable, the senior, at 5'9", 150. He's got a lot to throw over. There's a give up the middle and wrestled down after a gain of about 3.
Constable hasn't looked sharp since the drop by Derry.
And Reyes on that tackle there. So 3rd down. As they approach midfield, it's going to be 3rd and 7 from their own 48. And it's dropped again.
Man, that was a perfect pass, too.
Flash Morgan dropped it. Could have been complete underneath. Shelton right there to wrestle him down. Would have been a little short of the 1st down, but looks like time to punt for AC. Wish I could run down on that sideline and start yelling, watch the fake.
Yep.
Let's see what happens here.
He hit him right in stride with that pass, too, man. Hit him perfect.
Yeah, a few drops haunting AC. And that drop was caused by the pressure and knowing you're going to take a wallop. Low snap, running with it, picks up a block. It looks like he may have the 1st down off that bad snap. Well, not a design fake, but the fake that I was looking for nonetheless, as AC will get that offense back out there on the Vineland side of the field. So in Vineland territory at the 43, defense back out there after they held them for 3 plays. But the run on the punt sets AC back up again. Like an extra possession. This one's thrown laterally. It could be rethrown. But no,
play.
Not with Naheem Anderson there. He's going to knock him back about 12 to 15 yards.
What a read, man. What a read.
Derry caught that one, but could have been a mistake catching it as they only marking back about 10 yards.
Seemed like it was further than that, though.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I guess forward progress. Which he had none.
You had none because you were moving back the whole time.
Yeah.
So 2nd and long. Jones nearly, it might be Reyes lined up off sides. Jones didn't break the plane when he moved. It's almost sitting right in front of us.
Right in the middle there. Yeah, the big guy. Just couldn't get back. He was going just a little bit too quick.
So Ardahan's going to check in at nose tackle. Lawton, the senior, at 6'2", 260. Vineland frees up the middle. Reverse. He's got room to run. He's going to. Did he step out of bounds before the 1st down? Looked like he stepped out a yard short of the 1st down.
Yeah. Wow.
Nice blocking on the outside. They seal that corner.
Well, how does he not get the 1st down on that? He's more worried about getting hit. That's what the problem was.
Yeah, he certainly should have continued forward for that 1st, so 3rd and short.
Even if he gets hit, he falls that way.
Ardahan hustles back in, and Vineland's going to have to take a timeout because they're not ready. Let's see what we got. That's,
I think they had 12. Where you're only allowed to play with
see, no flag. I think Coach may have taken a timeout before the penalty. No, they're marking it off.
I thought he got the timeout in.
No timeout. Vineland hustles back out. It's first down. This drive has been aided by a couple penalties, a bad snap that turned in. There's a pump and go. There's good coverage. And Pacheco breaks it up.
Play.
Stride for stride.
Way to stay with him.
Really don't like to see Pacheco do that because I'd like to watch one of our Vineland players like Millville can do with Armstead run the ball in college.
Right.
Going to Rutgers as a running back. Don't play too good on defense.
Yeah.
But great coverage there. Didn't bite on the pump fake and knocks it down.
So we're seeing some unusual sloppiness, from Vineland's defense with the penalties and
see if Vineland can get some more pressure. Constable takes it himself and takes a hit after a gain of about 3. Vineland took the pitch away as he was trying to pitch it, and that's what you want Constable to take it. You don't want it to get to the speed backs. 9:18 to go. Still the first drive of this second half. 3rd and 5. Low snap. There's pressure. Reyes pushes him out. He's stepping up, and he's
Nice
hit
hit.
and dropped.
flag on the play.
Flag on the play. That's either going to go on Corey Howell or on Sansalone, as those two were in a grappling match. Both tackles. We'll have to see which side that's going to go. Wasn't able to keep my eyes on that as I was following the ball. So on a 3rd and 5, big penalty here.
Holding on the offense.
There we go. There we go. I knew it was going to go both ways. You see how he called that slow and stood still? So offsetting penalties.
It's almost like they had that meeting and say, let's make this as fair as possible. Let's just have them offset.
And in the future, Phil, please don't throw the flag on that if it's going to be that.
Yeah.
You know.
Let the kids play, would
Let's
you?
do it again, 3rd and 6. Right on the 15.
So you may see Constable throw this ball up and let Derry go up and get it. Seems like their go-to play.
Now Sansalone in it knows here. As we're ready to play 3rd and 6.
Bad
Low
snap.
snap, picked up, trying to squirt through. And down it's going to be 4th and 5, 4th and 7. Constable actually lost a little bit. So 4th and about 7. So another chance to end this drive. Second 4th down on this drive. The first one was converted by a bad snap that then was run up just enough for the first down by a couple yards. So if Atlantic City wants in the playoffs, this could be a play they're going to need. Open receiver in the flat. Constable floats it, and it's intercepted by Pacheco. He takes it to the 15. Not much room to run. He breaks a couple tackles, covers up the football. He's out to the 30-yard line on the interception by Pacheco.
It was a bad decision by Constable.
Constable had a receiver open early and then just got flush and really looked like he almost got to the line of scrimmage or past it. It was fairly close and then floats it short, which Vineland had Pacheco in coverage and a safety over the top. So nice job by Vineland's defense to make that stop. Now it's time for the offense. It's going to go one or two ways with Coach Volpe, the offensive coordinator, and Coach Russo. They're going to air this thing out right now, or they're going to just pound it. And I'd like to see them just pound it first. Pound it, get up that other score, then try to open it up a little bit.
If you're Atlantic City, you got to be completely upset with that drive. I mean, you ate
Vineland's
the
going
clock.
to get a penalty, and Coach Russo takes a timeout. As the play clock was started and winding down.
I mean, Atlantic City has a sustained drive. They keep the ball and come up with no points. I mean, it's just, I mean, if you're Coach Kelly, I mean, you got to be like, what more do I have to do?
Well, at least that time it wasn't drops, you know.
Right.
And you were punting from midfield and caught not
break.
a lucky break. Yeah, a bad
Yeah.
snap turned into a great play
Yep.
by a very good football player. You know, if a different punter's back there, is no first down.
Yeah. Tell you what, man, beautiful night for football. Beautiful.
If you're watching this live, you can always find the game on our YouTube channel at VPS. Hit the space bar broadcasting. Find all the activity going on in Vineland Public Schools. And also Comcast Verizon Channel 9, Saturday and Sunday at 6, Monday at 7, and that's also Verizon Fios Channel 41. 1st and 10 Fighting Clan. It's Pacheco and Anderson. There's Anderson. Nothing going on there as he's dropped for no gain.
Really nothing there.
New offensive lineman in for Vineland. That's Brandon Anderson. He was in last week a lot. Brandon Anderson, the junior at 6 foot 250. He's in for Timmy Jones, who was a game time decision. He made it through most of the first half there. Not much going on there. Nice job, 2 plays in a row for AC. So 2 plays and only a half a yard gained.
See, this is where Vineland's going to have to start throwing some outs, maybe a screen pass, throw the ball a little bit.
You know, they're clogging up the middle.
Yeah.
They probably won't on 3rd and long, but
No.
that's when you want to roll your quarterback out a little
Yep.
bit.
Because Atlantic City is definitely committed to not giving that run up the middle right now.
And it's
Wide open.
complete to the 50 and wrestled down.
Nice. Pitch and
Right
catch.
on the money, as that's complete to J.P. Garcia. Garcia with the 40-yard touchdown run last week converts a big 3rd down and gets into AC territory.
Nice ball there by Pacheco. Nice
Like to see the pass game get moving.
We'll see. With those linebackers running up to the line, here comes Pacheco straight through the middle, spin, move.
Puts
5
his
or
head
6.
down and just goes, man.
But with them committing those inside backers, that frees out
Yep.
that post on the inside. And Garcia just runs it perfectly, and there's nobody there because they ran up to stop the run.
I mean, the last thing you want to, if you're Vineland right now, I mean, you've been setting up, every game sets up the next game, and I'm sure this game at some point is setting up for who we play next week? Mainland?
Mainland,
Yeah.
in Mainland, then back home for St. Augustine prep.
So you know there's scouts out here, and you want to show that you can pass the ball, in my eyes. You don't want to be a one-dimensional team.
You know, on that one, it doesn't. Anderson there, not sure if he was getting it or not. Pacheco rode him a while, and Anderson waited for the ball, and then we had 2 guys with no momentum, so 3rd down and 6. Anderson comes out. Taji Reese in at running back. Pacheco himself hit and dropped. Nice tackle on the play by Ahmad Jones.
Tell you what, man, Atlantic City has stopped, for the most part, stopped the run.
Yeah, and I think at this point in time, you got to attack the edges a little bit more.
Yep.
So Pacheco back to punt. Isa Muhammad standing at his own 10. Good snap. Pacheco has time. It's a little bit of a shorter punt. And it's going to go out of bounds right around the 27-yard line.
So Von High's defense coming back on the field.
I think he wanted to get a little better, punt on that to put him a little deeper there. But, hey, Atlantic City's one score from putting this, game in jeopardy.
So AC with their second possession of this half.
Atlantic City going 26-yard line. Actually, they mark it at 27-yard line.
Right now, Vineland needs a play. Just a little flat right
Yep.
now.
A big hit, something.
Snap, low snap, toss to the left side. We think of Muhammad.
What a play.
There you go. That's
by
what I'm talking
Pacheco.
about.
Takes on the blocker.
Take the ref out, too. Take them all out.
Takes on the blocker, pushes him into the back, or the receiver, then tackles the receiver into the official, takes him down too. But on the completion, he's going to pick up a couple yards. Going to be 2nd and 8. Well defended by the Fighting Clan. You have Pacheco intercepting the ball 30 yards downfield on the last drive, now making a tackle 1 yard off the ball on that screen, or that bubble screen.
Pacheco just said, I'm not going to have anything to do with this. You're not blocking me.
The officials call timeout. Comes over to the Atlantic City sideline to discuss something.
Not sure what the officials are talking about with the AC coaches. And so maybe a headset problem. So that's going to give us a little break in time. It looks like they're playing with a headset. Not sure if they have the same rules as you don't have them, I don't have them, or what that is.
Right.
But Atlantic City, it's been a lot of what we thought, a lot of short passes, a lot of inside runs. And for the most part, 6 out of 8 times they've been 3 and out. One other time they were 3 and out, but converted a bad snap on a punt into a first down. It looks like we're ready to go. 2nd and 8, 3:32 to go in the third quarter. False start on the line. So that's going to push him back. Looked like the right side of the line got a little head start. That right guard and tackle. And a lot of times when you see 2 guys go early, it's the center that may have not snapped it. So. A lot of times I'll tell you, down and distance make all the difference and this and that, but if AC's going to score, they're going to have to throw the ball.
Yep.
So that 5 yards isn't as important right now. Vineland pressed up, playing physical with the receivers. It's pitched just in time, but then hit and brought down. Boy, it started out Taji Reese, clobbers Constable, and he's just able to get the pitch away. And just when you think, oh, good, he got the pitch away, there's Naheem Anderson standing there to tackle the next one.
Seems that the Atlantic City center's having a hard time getting the ball back to the quarterback. The ball's either been rolling, bouncing.
And mostly just this half.
Yeah.
The first half, I really didn't notice it.
It's going to get him in trouble. Because you basically just got your quarterback nailed on a bad snap right there.
Yeah, and if he's taking a hit like that, you most of the time think your back's going to have a few steps to run with.
Yep.
But good team defenses, Vineland knows their responsibilities on option and plays it very well. There's a good snap back right at the eyes. Constable throwing deep. He's got a receiver, and it's knocked down. Is that Tyreen Powell? Yeah, Tyreen Powell. Haven't seen him play defense all year.
No. I think Coach Cliff Smith understands, too, that, Atlantic City's going to throw the deep ball, so he's got an extra guy back there.
And Tyreen Powell, of course, one of our leading receivers. You know, he's big kid, sophomore at 6'4", 185. But Tyreem, as we've mentioned and the newspapers reported, out of football after needing neck surgery and didn't think he's going to be able to play. And he came back on offense and weren't sure if he was going to be able to play defense at all. And
Great story. Man.
he does a really nice job in great position knocking that down. I know he wanted the interception, but defending it's still going to get you the ball and probably in better position than you would have had it. The kick's away.
Nice bounce.
Boy, and look at that roll. That's a beautiful punt. Going to come down to the 26.
So just under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. You know, you got teams going back and forth, really not making any headway against each other.
It's where Vineland, if you're Vineland, you want to see the offense move this ball.
Yep.
Take a little wind
Get
out
some
of
points.
AC's sail.
Get some points. Get some.
And this is a Vineland team used to scoring 49 points a game. So
Yep.
this will be the first time that first unit. Tim Jones is back in at tackle, which is nice to see. Be the first time that this unit's been able to play the whole game, too. Loose.
I think
Vineland had it initially. That time Reese not able to hold on to it, and AC takes over on the fumble. So a couple fumbles today have really hurt Vineland as they've been deep in their own end.
Yeah, Atlantic City defense, man, has played tough since the end of the second quarter and all third quarter so far. So
Vineland just keeps trying to hammer that nail through the middle.
Yep.
Constable takes a timeout.
Yep.
And coach isn't too happy about
No,
that.
he's not.
They had 11 out there.
This is uncharted waters for the Vineland football team. You know, mistakes, fumbles. You just have to see how they respond to these miscues.
Well, you know, as much as we talk about the offense scoring 50 points a game and one of the top scoring teams in South Jersey, we also have a defense that's giving up under 10 points a game and not giving up very many in the first half of games either. So AC can breathe some life into the sparse crowd on their side. See what Vineland goes with defensively. So it looks like Sansalone's in at nose tackle. Reverse, ball's on the ground. How did he come up with that?
Wow.
Holy cow. It was Tajay Reese who fumbled on the last play for Vineland. He was a little upset with himself, and then on the very next play, he recovers a fumble, one that I didn't think he had any chance of getting. Looked like he just had a finger on it and somehow was able to pull it under away from the Atlantic City players. You know, you usually don't say a great fumble recovery. It's, oh, nice job covering that fumble, but that was actually a great fumble recovery. When we talk about receivers and defensive backs fighting for a ball, that's what happened there. Let's see if Vineland goes and gives it to Reese again. There's a give up the middle and an opening. Big hit, big play, hard
there
run.
You go, guys.
Welcome back, Reese. Reese picks up about 12 as he hits the hole like a bullet.
Went right back to him. Got to get that confidence level. Keep that up.
And just that quick, Vineland almost out of its end at the 49-yard line. Got a delay of game on Vineland, it looks like. The back judge throws that flag. Coach Russo again calls a timeout to avoid the delay. He's not pleased with that back official. Haven't had Vineland with a lot of delay of game penalties. I don't know if we've had one all year coming into tonight.
Seems like we're just a little bit out of sync tonight.
Coach Russo letting the official know he's not pleased. It's one thing about Coach Russo, whether in the start years that were tough ones and the good years that are now, very even-keeled.
Yep.
You can see him get frustrated, but always in control. And I was a much different coach.
Yeah.
I remember one game, it was a horrible call, so I had to tell the man that he made such a horrible call, and he goes, "Oh, yeah? Here's another one," and he threw the flag. I'm like, "You got another one?" He goes, "I do. Do you want it?" I'm like, "Get your buddies. Throw them all you want." But sometimes you do that and I'm a different kind of coach to motivate your team. I mean, yeah, it was 30 yards and penalties on me, 15 on my kids. It was a half a field given up, but we still end up killing them anyway. Here we go. Pacheco back to throw. In the pocket, pulls it down, heads upfield. What a block by Reyes, who screens him off with his back.
Nice
Reyes
run.
in no position to make a block, just starts running back into the defender and gives that pick that we talked about earlier for Pacheco. He's down again.
Yeah.
There haven't been many cramps tonight, but your hope for one is.
Yeah, I hope it's just a cramp.
Good news is he's leaning back and they're working on the lower half of his body, which.
Might have been just a Charlie horse.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that Charlie
horse
in a long
yeah.
time.
Maybe a noogie.
Well, we certainly wish our best to Coach Parentazzi,
Definitely.
who hopes to be back with us for the St. Augustine prep game. And if you're watching, Coach, we miss you up here.
Yeah, Coach, get well, man. Get well.
But it was a very tiny booth we're in tonight, too. I don't know if you'd have been thrilled. But it's better than other times we've been down here when we were up on a roof in the rain before and everything else. That was one of the cold, windy, sleety. That was back during the radio days.
Could get ugly down here.
We really don't have much equipment that can't get wet. And
No.
It was an interesting experience for sure. It was one of those lopsided Vineland losses of about 35 or 40 to nothing then. 1st and 10, Fighting Clan on the move. There's a given. Not much there that time for Reese.
I see Coach just home relaxing. Bunny bringing him whatever he needs whenever he needs it.
That's the official's timeout. It's a Vineland player down, almost in the same exact spot. That's the Atlantic City Triangle out there as it claims the second Vineland player in 2 plays. That is Wanye Kent, who's able to get up, come off the field. Kent, real good Bridgeton game, had a nice touchdown reception last week.
It's the end of the third quarter.
Well, that went pretty quick.
Yeah.
Third quarter.
Tell you what, it was just nobody, no scored points in that third quarter by any team. It was just miscues, then penalties. Yeah, Atlantic City's defense is definitely playing 100% better, stopping the run up the middle. And Violon's defense just matching Atlantic City's defense, just stopping the run, coming up with big plays when they need them. Atlantic City, you know, is a score away from making this game a completely different ballgame, where it could have definitely been, you know, easily a 20-16 game now if Nazim Derry doesn't drop that pass late in the second quarter.
So Vineland on the move this time, though, if they get in the end zone here and get a little more breathing room.
Again,
AC took another shot last time, and
yeah.
First defensive play I've seen Tyreen Powell on. He does an outstanding job. And that's, you know, you have a lot of guys that can run fast that are about 6 foot tall, but when you hit 6'4", 6'5", sometimes it's a little harder. But as I say every week, Tyreen was one of my baseball players forever and great speed. Pacheco now takes it himself up the middle, and he's hit immediately. Outstanding play by 72, Bo Nolan.
You know, with Violon's first real test of the season, you know, this game's actually you're gonna learn a lot about your team in this game. And the coaches are gonna be able to have a lot of film to take a look at to see, okay, this is where we're weak, this is where we're strong, this is where we need to work on.
This is where Vineland likes to go to Powell here. 3rd and 9. Pacheco over the middle to Reyes, who takes a hit and holds on to the football. First down, Fighting Clan at the 15. Anthony Reyes with the burst of speed. And again, they complete that ball where the linebackers are filling up for the run.
Beautiful pass.
Reyes, an interesting story. As a freshman, started at inside linebacker, is one of the best freshman inside linebackers I've ever seen, and one of the best linebackers on the team, if not in the league.
Right.
You know, really had a great season. The next year they moved him to D tackle. Now they moved him to that tackle end spot. And tight end, Pacheco himself breaks a couple tackles, and he's going to be about 1 yard short of the first down at around the 9. But so from being a freshman starting inside backer going to defensive tackle to the defensive tackle / end position and playing tight end, and was leading the team in receptions for most of the year. They've kind of gone away from him a little bit. It's nice to know you have that weapon there, and he's got some good hands. May even get to see him play some line next year, too. I mean, he can do just about everything with his size. There's the give on the outside. Makes a couple people miss. Looks like he has the first down. Nice job by Garcia. Now, I was talking about Reyes, the junior, at 5'11", 230. So I don't know how much taller he's going to grow, but I know he'll be at least 250 next year. A beast in the weight room.
Oh, yeah.
If I was still there coaching wrestling, I'd love to have him out there for that. So Vineland goes with Santana at the bottom of the screen. Powell on the short side at the top.
And Violon driving the ball just about like they were in the first quarter, just taking control.
The give in the middle, hit and drop, picks up a couple yards.
Yep.
Maybe one. It's going to be 2nd and goal at the 6. Vineland taking their time getting the plays in here as the clock is running at 9:10.
Time is on their side.
Yes, it is. Pacheco. Busted play. He wasn't ready for that snap, and
I don't think anybody was other than
the line didn't move at all. And we have a up at center, Mike Bachman. be the first to tell you in his 3 years that hasn't happened before.
No.
He's just done an outstanding job. He's somebody that, as a lineman, you don't talk a lot about him. You try to pregame let you know how dominant they are. But Bachma is just, from his freshman year to now, better, bigger, faster, stronger every single week.
Yep. Yeah, something was a breakdown there.
So that's going to make it 3rd and goal from the 9. Looks like the AC player is getting up with 8:46 to go. Vineland can pop this in. They'll have a little breathing room. Well, no, I think I want to see the Vineland defense again.
Yeah.
It's a nice challenge AC presents. And from the 2 games I've watched on films, this is the best Atlantic City performance I've seen, as they are really committed to stopping that run in the middle, and they're not backing off at all.
A couple breaks, and yeah, this game's a 20-16 game.
Well, the player's back down, so that may take a little while longer than we thought.
On this drive here, Coach Volpe just sticking with the bread and butter, with the runs. Had a beautiful pass in the middle of the field from Pacheco. They just keeping the ball, driving, just trying to get out of here with a score on this drive, and then ride out the rest of the game with the defense, hopefully, and get yourself a W.
So Cousin Davis is heading off the field. That Atlantic City defense has their back to their end zone. 8:46 to go. Vineland on a 3rd and 9 from the 9. 3rd and goal from the 9.
Vineland definitely wants to score on this drive because Atlantic City's capable of that big play, and you just definitely want to pad your score here.
So 32 at the bottom, Santana. There's a false start by Reyes.
Completely out of sync tonight. Seeing a sloppiness that you haven't seen all year.
Wonder why the clock keeps running.
I don't know. I mean, it's good news for Vineland.
Yeah. Could take another 40 seconds off the clock if the false start again. I don't know if Vineland's going to have. Now they're going to take another penalty here.
We gotta get moving.
Timeout Vineland. Vineland takes the timeout again to avoid the penalty.
Completely out of sync, this set of downs. I mean, just...
I'll tell you what, we've not had problems getting plays in on time.
No,
It's I don't know if they're spotting it quicker than we're used to, or if the back judge's watch is a little faster than we're used to. He seems to enjoy making those calls.
So Vineland just looking to get to the line and run a play here. I mean, it's just 2 plays in a row. One's a penalty and one's a timeout.
Loss of 3,
Yeah.
penalty for 5,
Yeah.
and a timeout use. So Vineland out of timeouts. AC has 2.
Shooting yourself in the foot on a otherwise a beautiful drive.
Santana's still in at the bottom receiver. Tyreen Powell up top. Tajay Reese running back in the backfield alongside Pacheco, and Garcia in the slot. They fake. Pacheco has it. He looks to throw. And he stays
Still
on
up.
his feet. and finally down. Great pursuit by the defense is finally running into Bo Nolan and brought down as Pacheco stays on his feet for a while. So it's going to be 4th, and of course Vineland will go for it here.
Yep.
They're at the 25. Make that the 27, 4th and goal. So a nice job by that defense of Atlantic City. It was a 1st and goal from the 9. Now it's a 4th and goal from the 27. It's an interesting play, the fake jet.
Yeah.
Looking to throw the pass. They kind of have him moving to the left to throw right. Pacheco back to throw. Has a little pressure, floats it deep, and caught for the touchdown.
Whoa.
All alone. How do you lose a 6'5" sophomore receiver? Tyreen Powell gets the touchdown, clobbers his quarterback up in the air. Congratulations, Tyreen. And what a job by Pacheco staying in the pocket. Only one little bit of pressure late, outruns that, finds the wide open receiver. Nobody within 10 yards when Pacheco put it up to the big guy.
Man, at first I thought he was just throwing it up just to get rid of it. Evidently, he must have saw him.
So Aparicio to kick. And is down and good. So 27-8, Vineland with that breathing room. See if that defense can get another 3 and out here and put a stamp on it.
Props to Isaiah Pacheco. He's keeping that play alive with his feet, and yeah, just hit him in the end zone.
He threw that fading away.
Yeah, it's
about 45 yards. Ball was on the 27. He was back around the 35, and it was thrown 9 yards deep in the end zone. And that's got to be the toughest one to catch if you're Tyreen Powell.
Yeah.
You're all alone.
Waiting
just
for it.
waiting for it. Waiting for it. And then you got to come up, and then it's going to hit you right in the chest,
Yep.
not left or right. And it's almost like you're catching a punt as he drops to his knees and makes the reception.
Atlantic City's defensive coordinator cannot be happy with that.
Really unbelievable.
Totally.
Finally, Pacheco saw him back there, but it was tough.
Jones back.
So now AC has a lot of work cut out for them if they want to get back in this. With just 7 minutes to go. Robert Aparicio to kick. And he scoots it down to the 25, where it's jumped on. And that's where AC will take over.
He's got 4 different kicks out of the kick.
That touchdown, was that 4th and 30 on that?
27, 4th and 27, or 4th and goal from the 27.
That's not going to sit well.
Was it 23 or 27, the Eagles, to Freddie Mitchell?
Oh, I was there, man.
23, I think.
It's
right?
unbelievable. I was right on the 50-yard line when he caught that ball. I could not believe it. Old Fred X.
So AC now is going to be time for the air show. It's Ahmad Jones on the sideline here, disappointed. He's played his heart out today. Ahmad Jones has for sure led the team in tackles and made some really big plays as the flag hits the field. And different. It's interesting, that time Vineland in man coverage is Broom. And we know Broom can cover. It was Broom as a freshman covering Marquise Bell in the Bridgeton game, which was a 7-0 win. And it was a 4th down play and covering Bell and making a solo tackle to end it and give Vineland the ball back so they could kneel on it and win the ball game.
I think if Vineland's defense gets a little pressure on Constable here, he's got another pick in him.
Let's see if Brooks can go 4 for 4, looking for one. Blakely and Brooks down low. They pump fake, float it. What a nice reception on the play. Great catch by Issa Muhammad, as he had leverage on the inside. And a beautiful pass, too, right on the fingertips in stride.
After all the ones that have been dropped tonight,
Quick swing out here. Nice job coming over and making the tackle as Broom after a gain of about 4.
Constable looking sharp now.
Cameron Roberts running a nice pattern.
Yep. Third quarter, Constable looked a little off. Actually, at the end of second, in the third, he's looking pretty sharp right now.
Well, he likes to throw the ball, and he's getting a chance.
Yep.
As that's complete, and Derry comes down with another first down for AC. Well, Vineland doesn't want to try to press too hard and contend and give up the big play, but they're giving up big chunks right
here. Yeah, they are.
They may have to mix it up and tighten it up now. See if they look Brooks' way. It's Brooks on Morgan at the bottom. And they go to Brooks on Morgan, and Brooks gets a hand on it and tips it away. It's about a stride away from having his 4th interception.
Yeah.
May have hit his head a little bit. He's a little slow getting up, and matter of fact, he's not going to be able to get up as he's down. Landed a little hard, as now he's sitting up.
I think maybe the ball, when he went down, maybe knocked the air out of himself.
So Brooks up on his feet. He's got to head out for a play. Boy, perfect timing to highlight Brooks on Morgan at the bottom. Sure enough, that's where they go.
Yeah, Constable's got some time back there to throw the ball. Yeah, the defensive line's got to get a little pressure on him. Make it a little uncomfortable for him.
We'll have to watch this time and see if Vineland, usually it's the 3 down guys and 1 backer, which is usually Naheem Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
It's been other people today, but 4 on 5 they're sending. But I think they may just be sending the 3 right now and just playing with the extra back. So we watch Naheem Anderson trying to explain to Tajay Reese's fake swim move, try to get him to get a little pressure up there. So 2nd and 10. Constable probably be throwing again, and he is. There's the pressure by Reese, and it's overthrown and intercepted. Tyreen Powell heading straight up the field. 2 hands on that ball, Tyreen down at the 50. So you catch a touchdown, you intercept the ball, you defend one in the corner.
Yep.
Tyreen Powell, a sophomore, making an impact here today.
Defensive line comes up, gets some pressure on Constable.
Yeah, and that's one thing we see a little more of Tyreen Powell here with these receivers over 6 foot tall. Morgan at 6'2". Derry at 6 foot. You have that size, it makes that window to drop that ball in a lot less. And seems like if it hits Powell near the hands, he's going to come up with it on both sides of the ball. Looks like Ryan Shelton in at quarterback for Vineland now. Shelton gives to Anderson. Tries to break 3 and spins for about 4.
He earns every yard, man. Every yard is earned.
So gain of 5 with 5:15 to go. 27-8 Vineland. So they look to add to it. Reese checks in. Anderson checks out. Shelton appears to be the future at quarterback after Isaiah Pacheco graduates this December. Shelton gives. Reese, spin move, falls forward for a gain of about 2 or 3.
Just hold on to the ball.
Shelton out, Pacheco in for 3rd and short.
Vineland just wants to have a little drive here, maybe pick up a first down, hold on to the ball.
Nah. I'm throwing it deep to Powell here, and on 3rd and 3, I'll do that.
Always going for the kill.
Tyreen Powell has the hot hands now.
Yeah.
And you can take your, it's the fake give. Not much there. Well, although he does finish
he might have
forward.
gotten it.
Takes it, almost gets a first down out of it, Tony.
And Pacheco is going to be a little short of the first down. Be 4th and 1.
Put him back in there, right?
Picks up 2. That'll bring up a 4th down and 1.
Now we're down to 340, so another.
So with under 4 minutes to go and the clock running, Vineland looks to convert this. 4th down. Take some more time off the clock.
Now chucking again.
See if Pacheco just takes it himself. Instead, it's to give, and it's going to get the first down.
First down.
Now, Atlantic City has 2 timeouts, but not sure if they'll bother using them. You getting any bleed in?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Getting to hear the AC coaches a little bit bleeding
Yeah.
through our headsets. Don't worry, we'll win next week. There's a 2:55 and running. Powell and Garcia at the bottom. Another give. Nice stutter step to the inside. Reese.
Oh,
He's brought down
What
at
a
the
run.
15, but there's a flag down at the 21-yard line.
holding
See if
offense.
officials may have decided Vineland scored enough for today. 2:36 on the clock. They move the flag to the 25. So it may have one of them weird 1st and 5s.
Hold it against Vineland.
And it is one of those strange 1st and 5s here, as the hold happened after the first down marker. And when you mark it off, repeat the down. So 1st and 5 for Vineland. Every player from Atlantic City up within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. That's where Anderson liked to break a tackle, be able to get going.
Yeah.
Jenny Rice Williams checks out for Atlantic City, linebacker, defensive lineman. Feels like this one's going to take a little while.
Yeah.
Vineland, of course, in no hurry, 2nd and 1. Pacheco gives. Hit and dropped. It's going to be 3rd down. There's nothing there that time for Reese.
Just under a minute and a half left in the 4th.
So the Atlantic City defense really did a nice job today.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you got 2 plays in this game that really, really hurt them. One, the drop pass by Deary, and the 4th and 23 touchdown pass from Pacheco was pretty much the dagger.
Here goes Anderson over the right side to the opening. Is he going to get in? Straight arm in the end zone for the touchdown.
Like I said, there's nothing stopping that guy. He gets ahead of steam. You cannot stop him.
With 49 seconds left, Anderson in the end zone for the 3rd time today. Going to put Vineland up 33-8 with 49 seconds to go. Robert Aparicio to kick.
Anderson's 3rd score of this football game, and he's been kind of used to that. And snap, but
Oh, nice
Yeah,
job
nice recovery.
on the play by Shelton. Shelton's done a little bit of everything as
Yeah.
the snaps bobbled. Aparicio says, I'll wait. If you're going to get it back up there,
We got
put it
time.
up there. And the blocking up front allows the time to convert that kick. So 34-8. Vineland. I can remember if Vineland scored 34 points in a game in a whole year that I've watched all 10 Vineland games. A 34-point game would have been something to build on.
Yeah.
Look where this team is at now with Coach Russo, defensive coordinator Coach Cliff Smith, offensive coordinator Jason Volpe, defensive line coach Jose Guzman, offensive line coach, and boy, that offensive line has been outstanding, Sylvester Chevalaglio, quarterback coach Chris Viso, Jim Eccles, special teams coach, Alan Ecker, assistant coach, Paul Longerin, freshman head coach, and Jason Dorsey, freshman defensive coordinator. And just for the record, the freshman, JV, and varsity now will remain all undefeated, as there's plenty of talent waiting in the wings. As we've watched tonight, some underclassmen take center stage, especially Tyrene Powell today on both sides of the football.
I think it's safe to say that Vineland High football is back.
And it's like, we only scored 34. Like, talk about how spoiled. At the 20. And brought down with 44 seconds to go.
Watching Apprecio kick the ball, he just reminds me of Rich Dowdy.
I thought you were going to say Harry Klikos.
No, Rich Dowdy. He reminds me of Rich Dowdy. Used to call him Gus the Kicking Mule. Yeah, bigger guy kicking the ball.
So Vineland's toughest opponent on the year, the last year's playoff team that almost knocks off Tom's River. 3-win team coming in, and Vineland's controlled this 34-8. It was a 2-score game for a little while, which provided some excitement, but Vineland's defense just yielding that one play. And Constable's just going to give up the middle as AC says, let's get out of this healthy.
I think that it's going to be a good game to go back and watch the tape, especially defensively, to see where your shortcomings are in the middle, with the passes in the middle of the field. So you can take this game and build from it.
Well, looking at next week for Atlantic City, they're going to be at Kingsway. Kingsway, a winless team. Around the rest of the league, Millville at Cumberland, Vineland at Mainland, Buna, Absegami, Camden Catholic Holy Spirit, Egg Harbor, Hamilton, Washington Township, Bridgeton. So we always root for the teams Vineland has played and beat because you get some extra power points. For every win they get, you get 3 more of those. Vineland's going to pick up 20 power points with this win tonight. Should put them in playoff contention. Then we can start working on if there's going to be a home game. 27 seconds to go. It's 2nd and 5.
I mean, if you're Atlantic City, you got to say, we had some moments where we could have seized the day and could have capitalized on some penalties, some miscues by Vineland, and they didn't. Especially, 4th and 23, giving up a touchdown on 4th and 23 is just kills you.
Well, nicely swung down by Anderson there as we hit 18 seconds. Don't know why the clock isn't running. Got to tap the people over there. Another tackle for a loss. Reyes will end the game with a tackle for a loss. He's had a few of them today, as he does each and every week. We're at 7, 6, 5, and 4. The offense walking off. The defense walking off. So from Atlantic City tonight, scoreboard has it Vineland 34, the Atlantic City Vikings 8. Atlantic City today then is something like 8 out of 10 possessions they were 3 and out. The one time they didn't was a high snap on a punt that they ended up making a first down. The other was, of course, the touchdown pass. Aside from that, a ton of possessions all the way around. Anderson on a 10-yard run. Anderson on a 29-yard run. Pacheco a 37-yard run. Atlantic City on that 65-yard reception. Tyrene Powell gets a 27-yard touchdown catch and finish it off with Anderson for 33. So Vineland in their biggest test, they answer that. Kind of an interesting middle of the second quarter to middle of the third, especially in the third with the teams exchanging possessions.
Yep.
So what you think tonight, Dan?
I think that Vineland, with their first test of the season, actually played well and sloppy spots. There was some. They seemed like at times they were in sync, and sometimes they were just completely out of sync. Penalties, and like I said before, Atlantic City had a couple plays where they could have just actually been in this game. But the key to the game, like we said, last week, is the Vineland started off hot, came out, scored 14 points in the first quarter, and we talked about how important a good start is because, against better teams, you need that good start because if you didn't have such a good start, Atlantic City could have lingered and lingered and lingered. But, at the end, you had some good drives, some good ball control, and Coach Volpe, dialed up some plays, dialed up the pass play when he needed it, and he got the big receptions when he needed it. And, you saw Coach Cliff Smith's team, a little vulnerable in the middle, with the pass. You're going against a passing team like Atlantic City, Constable, and Derry. They can both throw the ball well. And I think that overall the defense did well, especially when they needed to get pressure on the quarterback, they did. And when they did get pressure on the quarterback, he coughed the ball up. So overall, a great win by Vineland High.
Well, once again, we'd like to thank our crew. Tonight's crew: Mark McGill, Andrew Ellis, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbraun. And executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer. And if you're watching this live or watching this on YouTube, don't forget Comcast, Channel 9 Verizon, Fios, Channel 41, 6 o'clock on Saturday, 6 o'clock on Sunday, 7 o'clock on Monday. Kick it old school. Sit on the couch and put this on. This will be a nice one to watch again. This is Rich Scarper for Dennis Blau. Thank you, and we'll see you next week down at Mainland. And let's thank our sponsors one more time on the way out.